The unspeakable silence, a call for vigilance. Overview of the tragic incident. On a somber day in late June, a profound tragedy unfolded, leaving an indelible mark on a community and a family. The incident involved a young life extinguished far too soon and a perpetrator who was meant to be a protector. The victim was 6-year-old Elizabeth Feaster, a beloved daughter whose innocence was brutally taken. The perpetrator was her own father, Billy Feaster, a 29-year-old man from Oklahoma. Billy Feaster committed an unthinkable act. He fatally shot his daughter, Elizabeth, in a horrific act of violence. Following this devastating crime, he then took his own life. This tragic event occurred on June 29th, a date now etched in the memory of those affected. The location was Bethany, Oklahoma, a community now grappling with the aftermath of such profound loss. Emergency services responded to a distress call reporting the shooting around 11 a.m. The scene that awaited them was one of unimaginable sorrow. Upon arrival, emergency responders discovered both Billy Feaster and Elizabeth Feaster deceased. Their lives had ended abruptly, leaving behind a void that can never be filled. Please like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Background and contributing factors. The context surrounding this tragedy reveals a complex and deeply troubled history. A long-standing custody battle had been a significant factor in the lives of those involved. Elizabeth's mother later disclosed that the visit during which the tragedy occurred was not voluntary. It had been mandated by a court order. Furthermore, this court-ordered visit was stipulated to be supervised. This detail underscores existing concerns about the father's interactions with his child. The custody dispute had been ongoing for an extended period, dating back to 2018. This protracted legal battle highlights a persistent state of conflict and instability. During the court-ordered visit, Elizabeth was expected to be with her father. Her 9-year-old brother was also supposed to be present. Prior concerns about Billy Feaster's behavior were not unknown to authorities. He was already on police's radar, indicating a history of problematic conduct. Court filings from the custody proceedings revealed specific concerns regarding his actions and temperament. These documented issues painted a troubling picture. As a result of these concerns, Billy Feaster had been ordered to undergo a domestic violence assessment. This mandate suggests a recognition of potential risks. He was also required to complete a psychological evaluation. This further indicates that his mental state and capacity were under scrutiny by the legal system. Additionally, counseling was another mandated requirement for Billy Feaster. These court orders collectively point to a pattern of behavior that raised significant red flags. Investigation and community response. The circumstances leading up to the fatal shooting remain under active investigation. Authorities are working diligently to piece together the events of that tragic day. Police are striving to determine precisely what transpired and what factors culminated in this devastating outcome. The full picture is still being assembled. Preliminary reports from the investigation indicate a deeply troubling and complex situation. The details emerging are profoundly disturbing. The impact on Elizabeth's family has been catastrophic. Her mother received the heartbreaking news through a call from Billy's parents, delivering the devastating blow. The family is now grappling with an immense and unbearable grief. Their world has been irrevocably shattered by this senseless act. Elizabeth's mother is left to navigate a world without her baby girl. The void left by her daughter's absence is immeasurable and constant. A family member articulated the profound sense of betrayal and loss. Elizabeth was ripped away from her family by a man who was supposed to protect her, her father. The act itself has been described in the strongest terms. It is considered one of the most heinous acts of violence imaginable. The news of this tragedy sent shockwaves throughout the entire community. A collective sense of disbelief and sorrow permeated the area. Police Chief John Reed publicly expressed the profound impact this event had on law enforcement personnel. Such cases leave a lasting emotional toll. Chief Reed stated that tragedies of this nature are incredibly difficult to comprehend. It is challenging to make sense of such an senseless loss of life. The loss of a young life, particularly in such a violent and intimate manner, leaves a lasting scar on everyone involved. The trauma extends far beyond the immediate family. In the wake of the tragedy, the community has rallied to offer support and condolences. A shared sense of grief and solidarity has emerged. Victim's description. Elizabeth Feaster, though only 6 years old, left an impression on those who knew her. She was remembered for her vibrant spirit and innocent joys. She was described as a beloved daughter, cherished by her family. Her presence brought light and happiness into their lives. Elizabeth was a young girl who loved unicorns. This simple detail paints a picture of childhood innocence, dreams, and a world of wonder. Her love for unicorns symbolizes the purity and magic of childhood. It stands in stark contrast to the brutal reality that ended her life. The unseen warning signs. This tragedy serves as a stark reminder of the critical importance of recognizing warning signs. Often the seeds of violence are sown long before they bear their bitter fruit. The fact that Billy Feaster was on police's radar and subject to court orders for assessments and counseling cannot be overlooked. These were not isolated incidents. They represent documented concerns about his behavior, his capacity for violence, and his mental state. These were explicit signals that something was amiss. When courts mandate domestic violence assessments or psychological evaluations, it is a serious indicator. It means professionals have identified potential risks. These orders are not mere formalities. They are interventions designed to prevent harm. Their purpose is to address underlying issues before they escalate. The failure to adequately address these documented concerns can have devastating consequences. This case tragically illustrates that potential. It compels us to ask whether existing systems are robust enough to enforce compliance with such orders. Are there sufficient mechanisms to ensure follow-through? Are there adequate resources for monitoring individuals deemed a risk? The gap between a court order and its effective implementation can be deadly. A call for enhanced vigilance. This case underscores the urgent need for enhanced vigilance across multiple sectors. Families, legal professionals, and law enforcement all play a crucial role. For families navigating custody disputes, especially those involving a history of concerning behavior, extreme caution is paramount. Trust your instincts. Document every incident, every threat, every deviation from court orders. These records can be vital in protecting vulnerable individuals. Legal professionals bear a heavy responsibility in these cases. They must advocate fiercely for the safety of children above all else. This includes pushing for comprehensive evaluations and ensuring that court orders are not just issued, but rigorously enforced. The child's safety must be the priority. Law enforcement agencies must have protocols in place to flag individuals with a history of domestic violence or mental health concerns. Information sharing is key. When an individual is on police's radar, that information must be actionable. It should inform responses and risk assessments in subsequent interactions. Child advocates and social services play a vital role in identifying and intervening in high-risk situations. Their expertise is invaluable. They must be empowered to act decisively when a child's safety is at stake. Bureaucracy should never impede the protection of a child. The ripple effect of domestic violence. This tragedy is a chilling example of the ultimate consequence of unchecked domestic violence. It is not just about physical altercations, it is about control, power, and ultimately, destruction. Domestic violence often escalates, and children are frequently caught in the crossfire. They are not just witnesses, they are often direct victims. The emotional and psychological scars on children exposed to domestic violence are profound. In this case, the outcome was tragically final. This incident forces us to confront the reality that domestic violence is a societal issue, not just a private family matter. Its impact reverberates far beyond the immediate household. It affects communities, strains emergency services, and leaves lasting trauma. Addressing it requires a collective, coordinated effort. We must challenge the stigma associated with seeking help for mental health issues or domestic violence. Openness can save lives. Encouraging victims and concerned family members to speak out is crucial. Their voices are often the first warning of impending danger. Prevention through education and awareness. Education is a powerful tool in preventing such tragedies. Raising awareness about the dynamics of domestic violence and high-risk behaviors is essential. Parents, especially those in contentious custody battles, need to be educated on the potential dangers. They must understand the signs of escalating risk. Legal professionals require ongoing training on best practices in high-conflict custody cases. This includes understanding psychological evaluations and risk assessments. Communities must foster environments where reporting concerns is encouraged and supported. There should be clear pathways for intervention. Public awareness campaigns can help destigmatize mental health challenges and encourage individuals to seek help before a crisis point is reached. Understanding the cycle of violence and the indicators of extreme risk can empower individuals to act. Knowledge is a form of protection. Support for survivors and communities. For families like Elizabeth's, the journey of grief is long and arduous. They need sustained support from their communities and professional services. Grief counseling, trauma support, and legal aid are critical resources for survivors. They must not be left to navigate this immense pain alone. Communities themselves need support in processing such profound losses. Collective healing requires open dialogue and shared empathy. Law enforcement and first responders who witness these horrors firsthand also require robust mental health support. The cumulative trauma is significant. Advocacy for stronger laws and better enforcement mechanisms is vital. We must learn from these tragedies to prevent future ones. This includes advocating for more stringent monitoring of individuals with a history of violence, especially when children are involved. It also means pushing for more comprehensive mental health services that are accessible and effective. Early intervention can be life-saving. A call to action. The story of Elizabeth Feaster, the little girl who loved unicorns, is a heartbreaking testament to the devastating consequences of unchecked violence. Her memory demands action. It is a somber reminder that the systems designed to protect children must be robust, responsive, and relentless in their pursuit of safety. We must move beyond simply reacting to tragedies and instead focus on proactive prevention. This requires a fundamental shift in approach. Every individual, every family, every professional has a role to play in creating a safer world for children. The stakes could not be higher. Let Elizabeth's story be a catalyst for change, a solemn call to vigilance, and a powerful reminder that the silence of violence must be broken. Her life, though tragically short, must serve as a beacon, guiding us toward a future where no child is ripped away by the very person meant to protect them. The time for complacency is over. The time for collective action is now.